Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to make this beautiful dress. But before we do that, we need to create new panels from this basic bodice pattern. So what you do, you take your fresh pattern paper. This is the front panel. So you take your fresh pattern paper, then you fold the middle this way. I have already done mine, but I want to show you how you will do yours. So you place the middle on the middle of your basic bodice pattern. Then you draw it out, then you open it up this way. So now I have created for the front panel, and the length of this is 40 centimeters. This is the middle of my back panel. So you fold it like this. Then you take your back panel. You place it on the middle of your back panel. Just the way I am doing now. You place it this way, you trace. Then you cut it out. After cutting it, it becomes one pattern. You know, this is an asymmetric neckline. So that is why we are making the patterns full, okay? So you take the front panel, you place it on the back panel. We're going to draw a new neckline on the front panel. So now you place it this way, okay? So you take your ruler, then on the shoulder, here on my shoulder, I made a choice of how wide I want my shoulder to be. So you can choose how wide you want your shoulder to be. Then you place your ruler, you draw a line across the middle, you take it to the other shoulder. Make sure your line is across your middle. Now I have done my lines, I have drawn the lines. Now I am going to create my neck finishing fold, my neck fold. So I'm creating, drawing here, making points of 4 centimeters. I want my neck finishing pattern to be 4 centimeters. So I am making points here of 4 centimeters. You can see here on this line, I have 2 lines. This is not the correct line, it's wrong. So I'll make another point here of 4 centimeters. Just continue watching. You will understand every explanation when I cut the neckline. So now I want to draw the line here. You highlight your lines on this side for the neck finishing. So you highlight your line here. You do the same on the other side. You can see that my neckline is not in the middle of my pattern, is across the middle of my pattern. So for the neck fold, you also cross the line here. You cross it not in the middle, but you cross it over to the other side. Now I will take my fresh pattern paper and trace out my neck fold. As you're tracing it, you make sure you trace it exactly on the lines you have already created. You trace the shoulders, okay? Then you trace the neckline. You trace on the shoulders also, then you continue tracing. This is my new neck fold. So now I will use the same pattern for the back panel. I'm not going to cut 2 patterns. I'm cutting the neckline. Just pay good attention here. Here you cut, before you cut the neckline, you make sure the shoulders are aligned together so that you don't cut them wrongly. So I'm cutting out my neckline. This is how it's supposed to be. Okay, so this is my new neckline. It's an asymmetric neckline. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut my neck fold. You just cut exactly on the lines. Okay, then I'm going to cut this edge here. Now I'm done with the cutting. So now when you place it, it's going to be like this, my sleeve. Here my sleeve is going to be 20 centimeters length, and the length of my sleeve is going to be 20 centimeters. So you measure 20 centimeters and you make a point here. You can decide to make your sleeve length full sleeve length, or make it half, or it depends on the length you prefer to use for your dress. So now I'm going to take a fresh pattern paper, then I will trace out my sleeve from my basic sleeves pattern. You know, all these patterns I already have them made on my channel, so I will leave the link below so that you'll be able to see and watch and also create your own patterns. So here I'm ruling the line here. You trace exactly the lines on the lines. Trace on this side. After tracing, I'm going to cut the dress. Here is my front panel. Please pay good attention. The neckline is facing the right hand side. Okay, then you have to place it all on a single material, not on a folded material, because this is an asymmetric neckline. So here is the middle of my front. This is the back panel. I place them open, so the neckline is facing the left hand side. So you can see how it looks here. The front side is facing the right hand, the back panel is facing the left side. So this is how it's supposed to be. Then you cut. Now for the neck fold, you can see my front neck fold is facing the left hand side. The neckline is facing the left hand side. Then you turn it to this side. Then the under one is going to be for the back panel. You just follow the steps how it's supposed to be, because asymmetric cloth you cut 1 centimeter round. So you can see how it is. Asymmetric designs can be very confusing, but if you follow the steps, you'll be able to make it very easily as you're cutting on the material. So this is the back panel, and the other one is the front panel. You can see how the necklines look. So here is my sleeve. I cut my sleeve with sewing centimeters, you see. So you cut all the panels with your desired sewing centimeters. This is my underskirt. I also cut it with sewing centimeters. You can see how it looks. I have all the panels on my channel. I'll leave the link below so they'll be able to watch and make your own patterns. So now I'm going to stitch them. This is the side seams, my neckline. You see, now I place them together. They are well aligned. These are the shoulders. I have already stitched on it. I used my overlock machine because this is a stretchy material. So now I'm going to stitch the side seams. If you're using a stretchy material, you can use your overlock machine. Okay, it depends on what you want. I am done with the stitching. You can see the side seams. I have stitched on them. So if you're using an overlock machine for your stitching, you don't need to cut the centimeters. You just cut 1 centimeter or ½ centimeter, because overlock machine, you don't need a lot of centimeters for stitching. So now this is my neckline. You can see how it looks because the cutting was done the right way. So now I'm going to pin my sleeves. You open your sleeves this way. You open the second one. You place the same lines together. You place the other side together. You pin them. You secure with your pins. You secure them with your pins and you stitch here. You stitch on the other side also. I'm done with the stitching. I want to pin them on my armhole. and on the shoulder. So I have already done the pinning of this one. I will turn it to the front side. I will show you how to do this. I have done this before, but I will still show you how to do it. So now you take the side seams, you open the side seams like this, then you take your side seam on your top or on your dress, you place them together. You secure them with your pin. Then you take your middle point here. You can put a notch or you put a pin to be able to know where your middle point is. You place it on your shoulder middle point here. Then you place it on the shoulder point. You take your pins and you secure them. See how it is? Now you open it up and you stitch around. I'm done with the stitching. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we're going to do the neckline, or sorry, the neck fold. Here you open your neck folds. This is the front panel. I'm taking out my pins right now, so I am going to join the shoulders together. That is the first thing to do. You join the shoulders, then you connect the V points on the normal V points on your top. Then you stitch around. It's very easy to do. If you have your panels indicated, like now I am going to put my pin to indicate that this is for the front panel. So the only thing you do is to place it on your front panel and you stitch around your neckline. So that is not difficult to do. I'm not going to show how to do that, but I will show you what to do after stitching. So you pin the shoulders together. You pin the other shoulder. Okay. Then after pinning them, you try to make sure that you connect them the right way. Then you pin them, you stitch them on the machine. Then after stitching here in the on this V side here, you cut it a little bit so that when you iron it, it will become flat. You just put a notch here, then you iron it. You turn it to the front side. I have done the ironing, everything is flat. I have also stitched everything. It looks very beautiful. Then this is the sleeve. I have already stitched on my seam lines. You use your machine to stitch. You know, you cannot use overlock machine there. So now I'm going to connect my underskirt. So you take your underskirt. On your underskirt, you make sure you put a pin or you make a notch on the point where you're going to connect them. Also on the top. So now these are my points. So I'm going to connect the back point to the back side, the front point to the front side. So I will turn it over. Then I take the point. Then I connect the back points together. I pin them together. So the front point, I turn it over this way. Then I pin them together to avoid it from giving me problems when I'm stitching on my overlock machine. So you stitch round. I'm done with the stitching. This is my dress. It looks very beautiful. Please do subscribe to my channel. Do share this video, thumb up and comment. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.